All right, click the links to join the channel over, subscribe right now over at Odyssey. So Dungeons and Dragons, brutal self-ownership here. Senior game designers, two Soyboys, who are sitting around having an interview, they disavow how the series was made by the awesome people of the light, these godlike creatures who apparently are able to invent things that are so good that they can't be replicated. They can only be bought out and then kind of bait and switch. They boast that much of the original material that got people on board since 1970 would never pass our inclusivity reviews today. So read that and just stop and think about what they're saying for a second. They made something cool and it could not be done today. So you're saying you're getting an inferior product, but it's politically correct? Yeah, and that's progress because white people bad in their eyes. Except that they're the ones who made the games, but it's not politically correct, and it would not be made today. The Jason Tondro has taken to proudly touting the fact that much of the series, whom he condescendingly writes off thanks to having been made by white dudes. Well, like, aren't you a white dude? So the game today has changed to be politically correct and not as cool. And they say this stuff, and like during the interview, nobody ever brings up that very basic logical argument of so you just admitted on camera that you're making something that's not as cool. Well, yeah, but you understand, it's not as cool. Fair enough, but it's politically correct. But can we get the cool versions? No, because like you guys are Hugo Boss or something. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But can we still get the cool versions of these? No, you understand. We censored the movie for China and the Middle East. Oh, let's get those censored versions without all the BLT propaganda. Hugo Boss says what? So that like billion people over there that are they're also Hugo Boss, but it's different because they're over there for some reason. We only domestically you get the propaganda. Yeah, it's basically how it goes. So the game today is changed to be politically correct and not as cool because the cool version is not PC. So cool things are not allowed by these filthy globalist parasites who own the companies now. I mean, they didn't create the thing, but it's like Amazon buying the rights to make Rings of Power. Amazon is a shipping company and artificial intelligence company. They're great at what they do, but they're not the creative company, and they certainly didn't make Lord of the Rings. And it's like that with a lot of these companies that are they're just buying rights to things just so they can subvert and corrupt them. So the problem is that people are kind of running up against right now across all pop culture is that politically correct things are not cool. So games made now are bullshit approved, diverse, and lame, but I want cool things, even if the globalists say that they're not PC. I didn't realize this thing went back to 1970. So why do the globalist Soyboys control these games? Who determines what's politically correct or not? None of this stuff is real. It's all cultural Bolshevism. Have they considered that the people of the light who created all these things are awesome, and that the left wing, whatever the left wing beliefs have, whatever's topical, those beliefs are all cancer. Diversity, feminism, inclusion, and what's the other one? Equity. That's dumb once you start breaking it down. You go, equity, people aren't equal. How dare you say that? No, I mean, just look at different groups of people. They're clearly not equal. Individuals aren't equal. Why would groups of people be equal? Oh, well, that's not politically correct. Can't say that. But you didn't call me a liar. It's factually correct. Different people are not equal. It's different groups of people have different capabilities. They're, usually some groups are better at other things. It's kind of everyone has their high points and whatnot, whether it's like analytical versus creative, but different people are not equal. I mean, you can simply look at the planet to see. It's like saying all animals are equal. It's just so stupid when they say it, but they never get challenged on this very basic stuff because they have total control of the dissemination of information, and they're able to make things. They're able to scare the left wing herd with what is politically correct and not. So I guess, white people are just awesome, and they make all these cool things, and then these left-wing pussies come along and absolutely destroy them. It's all crap by globalists who are trying to reshape society into accepting garbage. It's the commercial by a bunch of moms who are just so out of it, and they're trying to push some like politically correct comic book or something, and they're like, they don't know anything about comics, and it's the equivalent of Battle Elf. Is that the one that was the take on like, it was the globalist version of ElfQuest, where it was you get a couple comics in, and it's a lecture on diversity, and this was back in the 80s or something. It's just, I know it has its fans. I'm sorry, but I have to be honest. It's just propaganda. It's like there's a little pox elf and a little person of the light elf, and look, we're just the same. It's like, oh, this is, hey, 1980s. Nice, thanks for the propaganda. It's like she probably made $1 million licensing the rights to the game, but that was absolute crap. But it's like the woke teacher trying to push this kind of diversity garbage, and the kids are going, no, you understand, it's lame because it's not cool, and the kids instinctively know what's cool, and it's whatever the 35-year-old obese blue-haired nose ring teacher, it's the opposite of what that teacher's trying to push. You know, the 200-pound green-haired lady with the cow ring, and who thinks of herself as like hip and edgy, and the kids are looking at her like, whatever you're into, get the fuck away from us with that shit. So he Tonda, I'm gonna have to look up this guy's name because I bet you he looks like an absolute soy boy. It's a historical document of the original D&D. It was a different time. Yeah, it was a cooler time without you soy boy pussies, where you guys would have been stuffed into lockers, or you just would have been ignored. You wouldn't have been hired by the company. And it's things get started by people who are passionate about something, whether it's a video game, a comic. It's a group of men. It's almost always men. In this case, usually going to be white or Asian, who get together and they have a passion for board games, comics, building a universe. And, you know, there might be a little, they're very, men can be very, you know, a little bit more on the spectrum and very focused about something, about making something cool, and the things you're passionate about, you know, write what you know. And then it gets, soon as they go to sell out, the concept, when you're a kid, you always hear that people sell out, and you understand what makes it so bad that a big company buys something. It's the Google effect. It's like once Google bought YouTube, they sold out to YouTube. It turned it into something that has to meet the corporate rules of cultural Bolshevism. So it's safe and boring, and all the cool, edgy things that people got on board with YouTube for these original board games, where they're a product of their time, where they're a product of a small handful of people who are passionate and driven. That's all gone because it has like, oh, well, we're going to have to run this by human resources. And that should be a needle scratch on the record, because that kills everything. It's like this 250-pound woman with the short hair who hates men and is wearing comfortable shoes, if you know what I'm saying, Birkenstocks. I do love my Birkenstocks. They're super glued together and falling apart. She's going to have to fix your product. And you go, but this board game, this D&D, for example, you know, this handful of guys made it, and it was hugely popular. These men, probably white guys, made something awesome. And the person who's going to make it, like the Sweet Baby or the Anita Sarkeesians or the Zoe Quinns or the Brianna Woos, they don't make cool things. They make depression quests that you have to have sex. You've got to gangbang a dozen guys to get good reviews for. That's how bad the game was. That's what these chick makes. Oh, and she also did she wrote this, oh god, this comic book. It went like 5. You could pause the video and look it up. Yeah, but you probably know the comic book I'm talking about. It was like a Blade Runner rip-off comic book that went 5 episodes and was just freaking horrible. I don't know what it's called. Or it was like Blade Runner, but with more anime manga type of like glowing in the dark swords. It was written by not Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn, I think. And it was just punk rock and edgy, and it's just, it's so fucking cringe. It hurts when chicks try to do things. When chicks, like moms, like these 35-year-old moms try to be cool. Or I'm just going off on these chicks, but whatever. Anita Sarkeesian celebrated her 41st birthday in Sweden. Like, gee, thanks for that feminist frequency money. She probably grifted $5 million from people. And that's just sitting in the Cayman Islands or offshore accounts, or probably crypto or something, sitting in Monero. It's like, Monero's made for Nazis. It's like, yeah, but it's the left wings using it as well. She celebrated her 41st birthday in Sweden by dressing up as a bride, and the whole wedding party dressed up as if they were at a wedding. You go, oh, why don't you just get married? I mean, 41's pretty old, but I mean, why didn't you get married 20 years ago? No, we're going to have a party where I dress up as a bride and there's no groom. That's fucking pathetic. That's the saddest thing. I can't even rip on that because I guarantee you a lot of the left wing people who went to that party were looking at this and they're kind of talking to their spouse they went to the party with and go, this is pathetic. This is a warning to the world. Get married young or you'll marry the person. Somebody said she married the person she's the only person she really loved. That's how sad it is. Anyway, so it's all this is crap by globalists who are trying to reshape society into accepting garbage, and it's the 200-pound teacher who's trying to push you this comic on the kids, and the kids just have to kind of go along with it until they get out of earshot, and then they call the teacher what she is, and then the teacher cries and trying to drowns her sorrows with the high-calorie meals. So this is bizarre to me that they're saying that these white men are like gods. I mean, cool of them to say it. But the thing is, like, when you're in a racism competition and your opponent is a left-winger who has to strawman you or steelman you as like, oh, this is what you people think of yourselves. You're this ubermensch. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Most people just want to be left alone to make cool video games and enjoy, fun board games. And no. These Zoe Quinns of the world, these grifters, these sweet babies need to come. I hope Sweet Baby gets nuked from orbit. What was that other Dateline or something, that sports site where the kid was at the Chiefs game and he had half of his face black and half red. The whole company got bought out by foreign investors and they just immediately fired everyone. They found out about it because they were locked out of their computers. It's like, yeah, that's how you know the whole company. Like, wait, I'm locked out of my computer. And everyone looks up like, yeah, we all are. We just pack up your shit and have security escort everyone out. So it's bizarre to me that they're saying that these white men are like gods, which they are. They are, and it's the left wing who has to put them on this pedestal to say that, because all you have to do is look at the left wing and say, hey, why don't you guys make something cool and original? Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinns of the world, why don't you guys make something cool? Who is the sweet baby chick? I don't know. It was one half black chick and Alyssa Merchant. She was the one running interference, like writing for Kotaku, I think. Just horrible, horrible people who are. If you look at Alyssa Merchant's photos online, she is so into herself. It's bizarre that these like mediocre mid people just think that they're so edgy and punk rock. It's current year, dude. We're not rebelling against anything. You have tattoos on your fingers because now in current year it's safe to have tattoos on your fingers. Anyway, so they wouldn't be allowed to make these games today. So you wouldn't be allowed to make cool games today. And these two idiots are doing this interview where they, I don't know what their ethnicity is, but they really seem to be. And this is one of the original guys, Gygax. That doesn't sound like an Arneson. I'm not sure if those are European names. Ignorant white dudes who made the cool thing that you're crapping on. Don't want to look up this Tondro guy? No, because then it'd be too hard to get through the video without just crapping. Okay, hold on. I'm going to look him up. Anyway, so if he dismisses them as ignorant white dudes, the guys who created the game, who made something cool that everyone wanted, it's pretty well globally known. What does that make these guys who are in control of the game now and are making it lame? It's bizarre that like nobody just says this to them, and like looks at them like, how do you I know you can't be dumb. You're like a regular person involved in industry. You can't be dumb, but how do you say such dumb things? It's like, are they that deep in an echo chamber to lack that degree of self-awareness? To go like, these people made something cool. Oh yeah, but it's not politically correct. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. They made something that's objectively sold. And all the company you work for did was just buy the rights to it. They inherited this thing, but they didn't create the thing. Anyway, we are seeing, I feel like Art Bell's in the 90s come to a quickening. We are seeing this, I don't know, it feels like it's getting to a point where something's going to happen where people are looking at pop culture in general and going, there needs to be something different. And where they're more comfortable openly calling out these soy boy pussies and these cat ladies. And the sweet baby thing has got a lot to do with it too. People are looking at these what look like blackmail companies, and they're just destroying anything that they touch. And the BlackRock and Larry Fink's got a lot to play with it too. But it feels like it's just about ready to come to the surface, but probably not on the mainstream sites like YouTube. Google Tube, which is, why Google bought YouTube, so it could have absolute control of the narrative. Um, anyway, people want the cool versions of these games. Can we get the racist, sexist ones? It's like those words, I think, mean something different to us, not the soy pussy games. Like whatever these F slurs are into, we want the opposite of that. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys on next episode.